Hi everyone, Bindu here. Today I am here in support of a very special cause, mental health awareness. I am joining hands with some of the biggest names in the industry on Instagram, and we are having a fun hop to increase mental health awareness. So if you're watching this video on or before the 15th of May 2021, join us on Instagram and hop along to win some great prizes from all of us sponsors. For today's project, I am using this gorgeous stamp set called Fluttering Feathers. I specifically chose butterfly background for my project today because butterflies symbolize change, hope, and everything beautiful that comes with a change. I'm going to make a shaker card today, but first I'm starting with an ink blended background. I have an A2 size card panel here, and I am using these 4 distress inks that you see on the top of the screen. I'm using Squeezed Lemonade. I'm using the very brand new Salvaged Patina. I'm using Shaded Lilac and Kitsch Flamingo, which was a recently released distress ink color. All I'm doing is, with the help of my blending brushes, I am going to ink blend these 4 colors in the order that I have them sitting on top of my work surface here. I'm starting at the top left corner of my card panel, and I'm going to work my way over and across. I'm going to go in a diagonal pattern, and I'm just going to blend these 4 colors together directly on top of the paper. While I'm ink blending here, I want to tell you about why I'm making this card today. My older daughter, Ananya, you've heard me talk about her quite a few times, is a very easy, happy person in general. And today, for some reason, she's been having a very bad day. She was getting frustrated. She kept getting so annoyed with herself that she wasn't able to answer and do her assignment at school. She just had a rough day today. And I'm not really quite sure why. But the most important thing is that I was able to talk her out of it. So I wanted to make her a card, and that's why I also made a shaker card, because she just loves shaker cards. But I wanted to make her this card, and I wanted to tell her that she's a very bright, smart kid, and sometimes it's okay. Sometimes we can't all be perfect. Sometimes things happen, and I wanted to let her know that it is okay. So it's very befitting that while we're having this mental health awareness hop, I am making a card for her, for my daughter, and I'm having this conversation with her about how it's okay to not know all the answers, how it's okay to not be perfect, and we're not perfect. So it's an interesting conversation I had with her, and I talked to her for quite a long time as I'm working on my card here. I was talking to her as well, and I was able to help her realize that she does know the answer. So back to my card here for a second. I am done with ink blending my rainbow pattern on the card front. And now I just sprinkled on some anti-static powder, and I'm going to heat emboss my background panel using this butterfly stamp, the Fluttering Feathers stamp set. All I'm doing is just using my Wow embossing ink, and I'm inking it up. Now I'm going to add the Fairy Dust embossing powder by Brutus Monroe. So I'm going to add this embossing powder, and I'm going to heat set it. So back to the story. Ananya was learning about Braille in school, and the assignment was they had to explain what Braille is in their own words. She was getting frustrated because she didn't understand what it meant to describe in her own words. Her teacher said, "Describe it in your own words," and Ananya was struggling. So we had this conversation about what Braille is, and we also talked about ASL and how that's a language for those who cannot hear. And then she came up with this whole big page of answers, which she already knew about Braille. I just had to nudge her a little bit. So she came up with this beautiful wording of her own, and how it is the language of those who cannot see, and those who cannot see use their other senses, in this case touch and feel, to read and write, and that's what the purpose of Braille is. So she came up with all of that herself. So I have to remind her from time to time that she does know the answers, and she's a smart cookie. Okay, I am back to my card. I'm finishing up my card project here. What I'm doing here is I die cut from white cardstock a frame die, an A2 size frame die, and all I'm doing is I attached the die cut to the panel, and I'm also going to add a sentiment to directly on top of the ink blended panel. I'm using this stamp set called Shine On, and I'm using the sentiment that says "Let your light shine." I thought this was fitting because, like I said, Ananya already has light, and I just had to encourage her to let her own light shine. She just needed a nudge, like I said. So I thought it was a perfect sentiment for the day, and because I made this card for her, I chose that sentiment. Now what I'm doing is, after I've added the sentiment, I am simply mounting this whole panel on top of my card base. I'm just aligning it, making sure that it is centered, and I'm just mounting it on top. I also have my card panel top with the acetate ready to go, and I added, as you can see, foam tape on the back so that I have space for the shaker elements to move. So now I'm adding the sequins mix from Pretty Pink Posh, and all I'm doing is I'm adding a ton, but I'm adding a few sequins for the shaker card, and I am simply going to mount the foam mounted acetate on top of this shaker card panel. So like I said, I made this card for Ananya. She loves rainbows, she loves shaker elements, and I just thought it would be perfect to cheer her up. So to finish this card, all I'm doing is I'm peeling off the tape from the foam on the back of the acetate, and I am also adding some glue so that I can make double sure that the foam and the card is fully secure. I'm sharing this small but important story today because of the cause we're celebrating, which is mental health awareness. We all have our own struggles, and especially in this day and age where we're all homebound, we socialize very little, and we are alone in many ways. But I want to remind everybody that we are not alone. You are not alone. And please, please, please seek help if you need it. So here's a look at the finished card. I hope you will join us on Instagram for the hop. I hope you enjoyed my card making process and my story. If you like watching my videos, please do consider subscribing and liking the video. I'll see you again soon. Until then, stay happy, stay crafty. Bye!